Hello everyone, T-Man978. In this video we are going to be taking a recap look at the Ocular Max Protectobots, or their version of the Protectobots. Whatever they call their team, I don't know what that is. Whatever they call the full combined mode, I don't know what that is. And I'm going to be calling them their real names, because that's really what the people that make these want us to call them anyway. At live events like TFCon or somewhere, if the real people are there, they'll refer to them as the real characters sometimes. But let's see. I think my favorite out of this is their version of Hotspot. It might be recency, but I like that guy. Their version of Blades, he's more fun to pose. Now, if I had to keep those guns on there, no, the guns suck. They fall right off. I don't like that. And I've always liked First Aid, the way he looks for some reason. These two in the looks department have been my least favorite, but I definitely would like Streetwise more than Groove. They all have frustrating stuff, but these two are probably the most frustrating. Besides this guy, my issue with that panel on the arm, but that's a me thing. This guy probably has been the most satisfying. Like, he feels nice and weighty and whatnot. And I don't know, he's just kind of made the best. It just feels better when you pick that one up versus these. But they're all cool. I have individual reviews for everybody now. This is the only one where I don't have an individual transformation. I do the transformation and the review in the same video for him. Maybe I'll do it, but I don't know. My view counts are not motivating me to do nothing like that. But who knows? That stuff is evergreen, so I might get back to it. But I just wanted to let you see them again, all together in robot mode. Next is going to be vehicle mode. Then I'm going to put them all into their combined form and show how they combine together and mess around with the combined Defensor. Alright, here's the full vehicle mode comparison right there. And there's nothing you can do about it, but Groove is completely out of place. As you saw in my review for him, he's almost pretty much true 1/12 scale, where he can fit like smaller Figma on him and it just looks natural. But they all have like rubberized wheels, the ones that have wheels. In fact, these wheels, they're so tiny, they feel rubberized to me, but I'm not sure. But just to recap on what everybody looks like. You can see these details. But yeah, optional weapons, I put them on and I just untransformed them. It's cool. I like that you can put that gun back there as the rear light. Just seeing this guy has the functionality and the annoyance of this thing. But I just put up reviews for him, so you can go check that out. I'm pretty sure you already checked this out. I got a lot more views on this one than any of the other ones. But even my transformation video, which is shocking, but he feels the best because it's the heaviest. And he has more tires and whatnot. Quite a few bits of functionality, but not a whole ton of functionality, but it still works. Now for the combined mode, I do have to do a correction on something I showed in his transformation video as far as the connector point. Alright, I'm getting to the point in the video where I want to do combined mode, but I did something incorrect and someone mentioned something in my comments about red armor. After watching TM Review's video again, I realized what they were talking about as far as the red armor. In his video, he had the butt plate and this crotch plate flipped on the same side, so they were like lining up barely, and he could barely get the arm to bend as a result, and you had to like realign everything. In the instructions, the way I have it right here is the correct way, so I did that right. You're not supposed to, it clearly shows that you're supposed to rotate the crotch around separately of the butt part of the crotch. So that's correct. Now what I did learn from watching him though is I had this part incorrectly, so that's why I have him bust open right now. What you're supposed to do is, and this is why this has two hinges, you're supposed to rotate this forward and then rotate this part back, which is extremely, I'm not gonna lie, difficult. Focus on this. Come on. Yes. Oh, did I get it? I got it. I got it. So now that's doesn't want to fall down, and you're supposed to slide the body forward. So now these pegs right here that pegged into this red part before, now they like groove into slots right here. Well, they groove, oh, right here. They groove into a space right there when you close the arms back up to like kind of hold that into place. And instead of being up into that cavity, it's now lowered. So basically we need to rotate the arms and everything so that will line back up again and get everything closed up. I mean, if you already have this figure and you've already done the transformation several freaking times like I have, or if you watched my transformation video, you should realize what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to get this into the light. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Here we go. You see those little notches right there? This is way more minutes than I wanted it to be. I just switched lenses, but you see those little notches going into the grooves. Basically, that's what we need to do, and we need to line, if I can, line this back up so that they can meet back up how they're supposed to meet. All right. Now we can put all of this back, get this back up, peg this into the hole. It pegs in behind the front windshield. And now hopefully you're good to go. This is nice and tight. And yeah, I'm going to show both modes, the cockpit back and the cockpit forward. So don't you worry. And I'm going to put the guns on there. Please don't forget to put the guns on there. Now we have everybody here in their combined form, which took some doing as far as this guy, because I forgot how to do everything. This stuff with the feet, bruh. Luckily, I did a video. But, in my video for him, if you watched it, I know you didn't. In the transformation part, I showed that I put him like this with a split in the middle. I went ahead and did the same thing for this guy. But, only other preparations that you need that are something I didn't show in a separate transformation video. Big old Defensor here. These actual connector joints for the arms, they have like an opening clip system right there, so you can put the joint in and then clip it shut. For this arm, that needs to be rotated that way. The whole time I had it, it was rotated like that. And this one, the clip is the exact same, but it needs to be rotated that way. So I'm going to lift them up. I'll lift that up, but lift it down on this side because it's different right there. Now we're going to start with the legs. I'm going to bend this back and open this up. That's the connector point right there for the top. And right here is the connector for the bottom. Basically, this piece right here needs to slot into a little hole that's in between there, right there. You can see it. You see it. I can't change my focus while I'm actually holding the light up above. But basically, we need to wrap this around there in that area. Get it to grab onto that joint and close it shut. Yay! And now these things right here need to slot into there, which is easier said than done. Oh, never mind. Went right in. Yay, good to go. And lastly, we can go ahead and shut this in front of the combiner joint. The first time I did this, I swear it felt like I was actually connecting it to something. If it's connecting to something, I don't know what it's connecting to. And we can make sure that these pegs right here are behind these fenders, but we're good to go there. This one, same deal. This time though, the little circular connector thing right here needs to fit right above the light. So I need to, let's see if I can zoom in on this. All right, you see it moves, but we don't need it to move. And these things right here, I don't know how explicit I've made that in my review, but these are flat down typically. They need to be folded up. But basically, this needs to be straight. The little square openings right there wrap around these while the circular one goes in front of that light. So you could put it like straight down on it. And I just did this before I started filming and it went right on. Yay. It went right on. It's easier than the car, to be honest. Now, same deal with this. We need to get this onto here. Yay. Shut that. And we can go ahead and straighten this up. And sorry for the overblown lighting, but I wanted to make sure you see those dark black parts. But now, once you do that, here's the sucky thing about him before I even get to the review part. This is not a great connection. These feet are the wackest part of this thing, to be honest. So you might have to just reshape them. And yeah, and there is a screw on both of these. I tightened those screws so that the toes don't lean forward. But I'm gonna straighten up the legs and get him standing up. Here's the connector point. We basically need to shove it into there. And when it gets in there, we need to push up on there. You know what? I'm gonna lift that up. And now it's wrapped on there tight. We're good to go there. Same deal on this side, but maybe slightly easier because the little latch is on the top. But make sure that you have, and I'll have the overblown lights again. It's so hard working with dark and bright ass white, but shove that in there. I showed how you're supposed to transform that. I'm not going to go into detail. Clip that down and we're good. All right, here is Maximus Pro, aka Transformers Generation 1 Defensor, all combined. Now my room or this floor is like uneven, so that makes things a little bit difficult. everything's like leaning this way. So since he doesn't really have any real heels, when I turned him around, he was kind of leaning forward. But here's what he looks like. Let's get to some other stuff. Like Hotspot's guns. You know, you can plug this thing into there and plug that there to make him have a big gun. And then we can make use of the bigger handle. Well, it comes out all at once, depending on how you pull it. But apparently, I learned this from watching TM reviews, you can take these other weapons, like from their version of Groove, and port these on here, and you can take Groove's other gun and port it back there, and now we can have all the weapons, like all of those weapons anyway. Same thing over here with their version of blades. Take the white gun, put it there. This, we could take these, and just like on blades, the pegs are not thick enough to stay on there very well. So that is kind of frustrating. And this gun right here, which is their Streetwise, it can technically port into there, but that's not in there well at all. So all the things are loose for that, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. I actually tabbed the gun into the hand earlier off camera, right there. Maybe not on this side. Not so much on this side. I tried this hand. Yeah, this one is different. This hand, there's definitely like filler in there, so that this, yeah, that slots right in. Very good. I don't see the filler on this one. That's weird. There is no, like, let me try to zoom in on this. See how there's an empty hole right there? On this hand, on the other hand, there is plastic in there that has like a little tab space for the gun. Nevertheless, though, with the grip, I was able to get it in the hand, but it's definitely not firmly in there like that. That's actually pegged in. You don't even need to wrap the fingers around, but it's in there. It probably will get loose depending on how you're articulating. So I would put the hand and arm how you want it posed, and then put the gun in the hand. So you can see the gun, the arm can be pointed down while he's holding the gun, and there's still a little bit of space. It's not really touching the ground, so you can put his arm down, as you can see. And so you can see this is Combiner Wars Devastator, who is billed as being 18 inches tall. So he is slightly taller. So I'm guessing this guy must be around like 17.5 or something. But before you say this is chug scale, this guy is overscaled, even compared to those guys from back then. All the other Combiner Wars were 12 inches tall, but he was way big. I didn't show this off in the blades video, but you can attach the guns right there if you want to. As far as his overall look, he's decent. The proportions I like better than their Bruticus, because his body is more filled out. But then I feel like his legs are very thin. And it's funny and ironic that the bigger vehicles are his arms instead of the legs. Like, if an ambulance or a motorcycle could be a leg, they picked the motorcycle. But that was the toy thing and the cartoon thing. I think you could switch them around anyway in the toy, the original toy. And while speaking about that, let's put an image, raise this up, put an image of the original toy / the cartoon. But here we go with the articulation. The neck can rotate 360. let's let you see the back of the head, or this head, and he can look up a bit. Now you could cheat and make him look up more, but then you start revealing Hotspot's head. Now this one I believe to be the more like cartoony head, where there's less details and whatnot, and this will be a more toy slash comic book style head with more defined details. And there are optional faces for both with him yelling. Now, as far as the arms, it does have a slight butterfly joint. I never knew. But you can rotate 360 on that ratchet joint. You can go up this high on this arm. You get a bicep swivel there. It kind of swivels here, but it stops to a point like right there. The elbow bend on first aid looks like that before you bump. This wrist stops there, but it can go in that much. The hand goes outward. All the fingers rotate right here at the base, but these can rotate even more because of their placement. And you get 3 knuckles on each finger, like the pinky and the index finger can rotate at the base. All the fingers are the exact same length. The thumb is on a hinge here. It's on a ball joint, so you can rotate it around, and it has 2 hinges, so there's a lot of posability in there. I'm not going to show the fingers on this one, but the arm can go up. Let's try to click it to the max. There we go. Up that high. It can come down, it can rotate. You do get the butterfly. This one feels ratcheted. This one, it's ratcheted, but not as much. You get the bicep rotation. You can bend up more than 90. A lot more than the other arm because of the shape of it. You don't get any rotation, but you see this? It stays right there, which is awesome. But I will show, I just said I wouldn't show the fingers. This one rotates this way, so this is the opposite. So if he has like a long staff-like weapon, which I guess that's what they thought about, he can hold it like that, which is cool. You get down here, waist rotation, and I'm bumping into his little butt plate down here. Here we go. You get waist rotation, it moves a little freely, and you get an ab crunch. Now his body started bending in the middle because of this connection being not too secure. The legs, or the thigh, I untransformed this scratch, hold on. Alright, thigh rotation, it bumps about right there. Unless you swing the legs out, then you get full rotation. The leg can kick up 90. Can kick back till you get to that butt plate. But the butt plate can open up on the side, so you can kick out almost all the way. Oh, you ain't gonna need more than that, to be honest with you. Knee bends more than 90. The ankle rotation or ankle pivot does that. You get a toe, like I said, you gotta tighten that screw. It does come forward, and it does rotate a little bit, but this connection on the back of the foot is very loose, to be honest. Here's a piece of detail. I don't know if Henry Peake mentioned this, but you see how the knee looks when you bend it. You could actually slide that down to give you some extra knee detail, and it just goes right back up. That's part of his foot transformation. And the lights are overblown, like I said, because the different varying colors, and I need better lights apparently, or more lights. Overall, off camera, posing him around has not been too much of a chore. Off camera. On camera, that's a different story. But the face plates, so you can see this, if you lift this up, you can hit the back of the chin, and look at that uneven floor. And his toe joints not being strong, they should have been ratcheted. So you got to be strategic on how you pose him, like leaning the hips forward and bending the knees. Here he is with this attack face. No real tooth design, but I believe you just pull this straight off and put this straight on, and here he is with that look right there, which I think I like this one better, to be honest. If you watched all of my videos, I was saying that these really peg into the light bar thing on his back, and that's proof right here because it was connected to this lightly. But here is his collared look, which I believe the original toy had. Well, but not believe, I saw it in the images. So there's this option, and then I guess the last thing to show is this transformed like a helicopter. And here we go. Here's one thing when I'm talking about proportion. Here's one thing that's better about the figures being like a shell or a skeleton, and with the car parts attached. See how the elbows are bent? The elbows are way high. That's one thing about combiners that I hate, where it's all-in-one type of transformation. They always have those weird arm proportions. Like most of the vehicle, because they have to have the combiner joint inside of it, is usually at the top, and then there's not a lot of room for the arm length, like a normal, like human body, in which these things are trying to replicate. Your elbow would be down here somewhere. I forgot to push these skids together. I'm pretty sure somebody's been screaming this whole time that I didn't do that. I didn't even notice till just now. But this is my first third-party masterpiece scale-ish transformer that I own, and it is cool. It's fun to mess around with. It's cool to be able to do this. They all become great or decently good robots, and they all become good vehicles. So overall, not disappointed. Now, it does have a few things that I've complained about throughout this video that I don't like. This hasn't been too much of a problem in the video, but I don't like that connection. I wish that was more secure. The feet. The feet come disassembled in the back a lot constantly, and that toe joint should have been hard ratcheted. Maybe that would have been difficult to do because of the way it transforms, but yeah. It feels heavy, or heavy enough. Most of the weight is probably Hotspot himself. And I like the variations you can do, like you could change this up if you wanted to. And the way you can do the guns. Now, this one gun comes together well, like I showed. The other one, not so much at all. He has a bunch of options as far as the bucket head and two different heads and two different faces. So that's cool. So overall, I'm satisfied with this purchase. And now I'm going to just end things with some random comparisons. Here he is next to a car. Some other rescue guys. MP44 and Super Genrai. Now, normally I think in the cartoon... I don't know. I think in the cartoon, sometimes this is accurate. maybe Optimus would come to about here-ish. No, I think this is about accurate, because Studio Series, and I think Optimus comes up to probably Devastator's waist. So, depending on the episode, this is about accurate. But typically with third party, they're like almost 2 feet, which may be too big. Your eyes might have been focusing too hard on those Optimuses, and you didn't notice Dollar Tree roadblock right there. And when I mentioned 2 feet, some of those figures being 2 feet and the same height as Omega Supreme isn't right to me. Omega Supreme should be bigger than everybody, combiner wise, to me. Like I was saying, off camera, this thing is easier to deal with than on camera. He's probably been looking janky this whole video, but you can get him into some dynamic poses that look either good or at least decent. I like that you can do the knee thing that I mentioned, and I definitely like the finger articulation. I'm still trying to find out about that hand because it's not filled in so I can hold that gun. But the people I've asked who own this are dragging their feet on being able to get me the answer. And one person just said, So I don't know if he already put that in his video and I should have been paying attention. But yeah. Anywho, I like it. Thank you for sitting here for all this. Did you buy this guy, or do you plan on getting it, or are you waiting for some other company to get it? Thank you for watching. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here.
Click the videos, click the freaking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos.